I'd like to show how you make a drop-down list, meaning I can hover over one of these items and little sub-items pop underneath and you can hover over them. And there's some kind of cool techniques we go about implementing those. So first things first, inside of the list items of the item we want to drop down, right here in between the anchor tag and the ending its list item tag, we're going to make some space right here, okay? You've got to insert in this area the new unordered list you want to have drop down. So you can see here I have one I've made with a small, medium, large. They're links, and we have an unordered list with link items. Okay, so at this point I'm going to save it and refresh the page, and you can see I've got a second list of flex items here. And the reason I have another list of flex items is because I have a nav ul, which really also means a nav ul, but it's taking out that parent or that descendant in between, and it really says all ULs underneath the nav. So really it's hitting that second list on there as well and causing that to flex. And so we do have that other flex, and that's fine and all. Let's go ahead and let's make some adjustments here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make it so you don't see that second level. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say nav ul, and then we're going to say the second ul. So an unordered list within an unordered list within a nav is going to be displayed as none, okay? And when so by default it's not seen, all right? And we're going to do some other things here too. We want to change its position type. Now if you remember the different positions from a previous video, absolute bases its position on its parent that's absolute or relative positioning. So we need to look at its parent, and the parent of ul would be a nav ul li. And so we're going to change its position to be a relative item, okay? So what's happened is we have shop here, and we want small to be lined up with shop rather than all of a sudden going back up to the top pixel of the viewport or something like that. And so that's kind of why we do a relative positioning to this list item or the parent of this ul. Really, I could throw in a list item there and that would read the same thing. That might make more sense to people to do it that way. And so we're going to not show it, and we're going to say that it's absolute. And next we want to say we want a navigation, the ul that has an li inside of it, but when we hover on that, then we want to affect the ul. Now I don't know if you caught what just happened there, but often we apply a hover to the item we're changing. What we're doing here is we're applying a hover to the parent that's going to change the style of the child. And that's a really tricky tag that not a lot of people fully understand. And so what we're going to do is we're going to change its display. We can display that as flex if we want. That's fine. We can look at some different things there. Let's look at that initially and see how that works. So right now, if I hover on the list item, if I hover one of these items, it's going to turn the UL on because normally it's off. Okay, so I hover over that, and you can see I have this nice little drop down that show up. Now this is a flex menu, so it is kind of going across. So we probably want to drop these in each individual item into some kind of drop down or list or something else other than what we've got here. But let's do a couple other things. Let's do our width of each of our, let's say our width of our unordered list. Let's put it to 100% and see what that looks like. Okay, it's looking good still there. We probably want to say each list item. Okay, this is going to make all list items. Well, we got the 100% up here. That should be fine. Let me try this. Instead of being that, let's change this back to block and see what that looks like. So I don't know if you caught that there. So what we do is we have a flex up here, and when we hover over shop, then this turns into a block item rather than a flex item, which kind of goes across. Now I probably actually now I'm thinking about it, I probably could have kept this flex, but when I hovered over it, this UL, I probably want to change the flex direction into a column or something like that. And that might be a little bit more appropriate. So that is still a flex box within a flex box. And then we can look at it smaller like this, and you can see where we do have some problems there now where contact is going on top of the small. And so I probably also should throw down a Z index because we have some stacking problems of 2 or 1 or something like that. And so now I hover over and I get my whole menu, and that works fine. And they come off. So I might want to, at this point, change a background color. You know, we could apply something a little darker. I'll just do an RGBA, make it black, and do like a 0.2 is fine, I guess. And refresh that, and that way I get, well, that's not showing up. I'd want to get like a little bit darker color, but something up above is giving another color. It looks like my list items are getting the color there. So I'd want to take that color here and apply just a slightly darker color. I don't know what it looks like with the 6 there. Let's look there. Oh, it doesn't look any different. Anyways, I think you get the idea where I'm going with that. But you just want to change the colors to make it look a little bit different. But you can see how that drop down works, and works in different sizes. You know, and that's kind of how it functions. It's really this magic declaration right here of applying style to the child if the parent is hovered on, and it's kind of a cool way of going about that.